everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sundays with the Cherry on Top. I am your host, Cherry. I am just so happy to be back. I took a much needed break. You guys know how I like to do 6 or 7 of these, and then I give myself a little break to just rest, to recharge, to energize, and also to, I have so many other things going on with my coaching, my teachings, and auditions, and just the life of an artist wearing many hats. And sometimes, I just like to give myself a break so I can catch up on other things and then get back to what I love doing, and that's these shows. And I missed you guys, and I spent this time on the break doing a lot of resting. And, we've been through a lot. There's so much that's been going on. We just got the verdict from the Chauvin trial, Derek Chauvin, and found guilty on all 3 counts. And that was hard on my spirit. Just, I didn't realize how much I was carrying around, just walking around in the cloud. And then when the verdict was read, just how much I released through tears. And so just dealing with that. And, his sentencing is going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And so, there's that. And, it's been a time of loss. We've lost DMX, Black Rob, Shock G, a personal friend of mine, Mums. We lost him as well. So a lot has happened since you and I have been meeting up on Sundays. And I just wanted to just bring back some Black joy because, like I said, a lot has been going on. But just want to remind everybody, I know some people have mentioned that the Oscars are tonight. So if you're going to watch them, they're at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after the Sundays with the Cherry on Top interview. Okay, hey. So after this, you can go and watch the Oscars. I'm rooting for everybody Black. You know how I'm like Issa Rae. Everybody Black, hey. So before I bring on my guest, Pernell Walker, you guys know how I like to remind you guys to make sure you follow me on Twitter, Sundays with Cherry. You can find me on Instagram, Sundays with the Cherry on Top. And you can find me on Facebook under the same name. And once you go on YouTube, and you could just go there, you can see past interviews, some past cherry picks. You can see some fun clips of my past guests. And just to keep you abreast in case you missed anything, they will always be there. So make sure you find me there. And you guys know how I like to start each interview with a fun fact about my guest, right? And so I'm really excited to bring Pernell on because one thing I love about Pernell is that she brings a lot of Black joy into any room that she's in, even online. If you're friends with her on Facebook, you guys know what I'm talking about. One of the fun facts I love about her is that she continuously makes me and the community laugh. Especially when we have difficult times, especially through this pandemic, just the memes and her sense of humor and the joy and the way she just lights up a room, it just makes me just love her so much. And I'm so grateful for that. And I don't think she realizes, or maybe she does, but I don't think she realizes how much that joy touches me, even if I don't get to see her every day. And another fun fact about Pernell is that back in the day, she and I used to play Words with Friends. And I just ghosted and I stopped because she was kicking my ass every freaking time we would play. So I would like spend all this time, these brain muscles trying to come up with this cool word, trying to figure out what's going to give me the most points. And then she would just in the less than an hour, whoop de whoop de whoop, with this, damn word. And it would be like 75 points, So I was just like, okay, I'm done with her. And I never beat her. I think she beat me every time we played Words with Friends. So not only is she funny, she's smart, she good with Words with Friends. So if you trying to play with her, just know that she gonna kick your ass in Words with Friends. But anyway, with that said, I just wanted to bring on my next guest. So everybody, let's all bring on my girl, Pernell Walker.
Hey. Listen, I didn't know that you quit Words. You're probably like the third person that was like, fuck this. I'm done with Words with Friends. Done with her. And they kind of eventually, but I mean, listen, it's a training ground because I got my butt kicked a lot of times when I didn't know what I was doing with that game.
Girl, I don't know how to play it. I don't know how to strategize. You strategize so well, and I was like, oh, I got it now. And then you like Equinox, 85 points. I was like, girl.
I have went through suffering. Okay, I have learned to use those triple letters and triple words and double words. So I have learned. I don't just randomly put words no more, because I just be like, oh, wait a minute. There's some kind of system here.
You figured it out. You figured it out, because I was like, I'm done. And you would play a word right after me, and then 2 weeks later, here I come back, because I'm trying to figure out what's the best word of how to beat you. I never won a game with you. I never won a game with this woman. But anyway,
I had people cheat and go up on there and get a dictionary, or digitally, and then I'll find out, and I'll be like, really? This is in your search engine?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. If I come back to play with you, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have to cheat. Because that's the only way I'm gonna win. I'm like, let me look in the search engine. What is this? What is this word? But anyway, listen, I'm so happy to have you.
I'm happy.
You just bring so much joy in my life. Yes, girl, listen, okay? Hey, my girl Pernell is on the show. But before we start the interview, I like to do each interview with a check-in. Just like I was saying in my introduction, we lost so many people with DMX, who just had his memorial yesterday. We lost a personal friend with moms, and the trial. There's so much going on. How are you holding up with everything that's been happening?
I don't know. I feel like this is kind of like 2020 was the nuclear bomb, and now we're dealing with fallout. With like the trauma left from that. And I mean, I lost a good friend from COVID, Erica Watson, rest in peace. Beautiful spirit, beautiful soul, beautiful comedian. I lost another friend, Toy Holmes, beautiful voiceover artist. And it's just been numbing. Even with the trial, because I know they had to show footage over and over again, but I can't even imagine what that family had to go through, looking at a family member go through that, their lives being wiped out, So even when the verdict came in, I was out walking, and so I had my earpiece in, and I'm like, okay. Like up to that minute when they were saying it, all of a sudden I felt so emotional. I said, oh my God, why do I feel so emotional? I guess because there's so much invested in it.
Yeah.
And how many times with Trayvon, how many times with everything else, cyclical history, how it's been going. We know the same old. So I'm glad that this was different.
Yeah, the accountability. We got accountability.
Accountability, but there's still a lot of justice to be had in different instances.
Yeah.
But
So I hear you.
It's a start.
Listen, okay. We'll see. I always like to say, we'll see what happens, because I'm sitting here saying it's a start, but then what's going to happen the next one? So it's just the best we can do is just take one day at a time and breathe, and continue to laugh the way that you laugh, and the way you bring so much joy into that. And speaking of joy, what I want to do is I want to ask you, where did your love of theater come from? Because you're an actress that goes between TV, film, and theater. And the first time I saw you, it was way back in 2010 when you were in Rada Blank's Seed.
Yes,
and so, Rada Blank, who is a 40-year version right now, that's out on Netflix. You guys check it out. It was produced by the Classical Theater Harlem. There's a picture of you starring in that show. And you've gone from Seed, who Nakia Mathis was in that show. And Nakia Mathis, who used to she was a guest on one of my seasons of Sundays with the Cherry on Top with Our Black Tresses. And so I remember on our phone call, we were talking about how she's gone from, an actress to now a mogul of hair, right? And like she has her own hair company. And the fact is that you're 6 degrees separation, Rada, Nakia, and then we also have you with Halfway Bitches when they go to heaven. Look at you, yeah. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because you have such an extensive resume, and you've done so much so far in the little time of your career. Where did your love of the arts come from? Where did you get the bug?
I felt like I got the bug in like junior high school. I was having a rough time socially in junior high school, so I really kind of stayed to myself. I closed off, communication wise within myself. I was just depressed. I didn't fit in anywhere, for a lot of reasons. And I just needed a different outlet. I needed a change. So I just decided, I was like, okay, I want to look for different high schools. And I started looking at performing arts high schools.
Okay.
And this teacher, this librarian, Miss Taylor, from like junior high school 120.
Oh,
all our dorm bars, South Bronx. Lifetime gonna do my story, Lord. But on her prep periods, she would help me and another student prepare our monologues because she was a former opera teacher.
Oh, wow.
No, opera singer. She was an opera singer who turned librarian. And, she would help us, and she gave us some grown. She was like, she looked up some for color girls.
Oh, yeah. That's my first play my mom took me to go see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, here I am, this 14, 15-year-old girl singing, doing Lady in Blue.
Okay, Lady in Blue.
Okay. And that's it.
Okay.
But I'm grateful because of her, mentoring and helping me out in that way. And there was a few other people that would stand in the gap in different ways, after school programs, different churches I went to, the church, Lutheran, All Saints Lutheran Church. They were really helpful in fostering outlets for performative and just getting expression out.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So when I got up in there, I was like, okay, I'm here. But I didn't know what it took to go somewhere else with it because I just had no idea what prep meant. I mean, my first monologue, I half learned it. I got up and I'm looking down at the ground. I'm trying to remember. It was bad. It was just bad. I didn't know how bad it was. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
A 2-minute monologue can feel like 2 hours there. It was bad.
Oh, amen. It was bad. Oh, amen.
Thank you for the recognition of the bad. So then the teacher I had, who was really phenomenal, Mr. Abdul, once you finished your monologue, the protocol was, if you were worthy of a callback, you would get a call back and they will call you back to, like, you would get to perform your monologue with costume and everything, and he would direct it. And so you get to show it to the class as a, continuing, more polished performance, So he called the names. I ain't get a call back. Oh, there's more. I went up to this man.
Yeah,
right. The audacity. I said, I didn't get a call back. And he looked at me. He said, no, you didn't. I said, okay. And I walked away.
Wow.
And I was like, dang.
First lesson.
Okay.
First lesson.
Answered.
That's a lesson.
And so I just became adamant about getting a call back. I started being obsessed about preparation and like learning the lines. I was in my bedroom like 3 hours a day to learn a monologue for the next time that we had to go up. And when I got up, I mean, I was on point. I had like a little costume and whatever. It was there.
Wow.
And so it made me know the importance of prep and the importance of knowing what you're doing, how you want to do it. And in that, I started to love it more because it's like, oh, I'm working and I'm able to do this. I'm able to see people react to this and keep on mixing. And I just loved it. I loved the collective thing of it, even working behind the scenes, because they also had us do like, if there was a show, you either work somebody was helping you work the curtains, or somebody else was helping you clean up something, but it was just a collective community of theater. I was like, wow, I really love this. So that's how it happened. Girl didn't get her call back. Went up to the teacher in her feelings.
Okay, but we gotta thank that teacher though. We gotta thank that teacher, because look where you at. Like, look. Okay, let me ask you this: when did you know, or do you know? When did you know when you were funny? Or do you think you're funny? Because you just the joy, you light up a room.
Aw, that's the glow light, girl. That's the ring light. You see my werewolf eyes? I think, you know what? I think it's through pain or something. Like when I was even in high school, I would go to humor to kind of lighten things if I could. I mean, how can we live without laughing?
Yeah.
I mean, coming from the South Bronx in the 80s, 90s, girl, you better laugh.
Yeah,
you better do something, because yeah, it's just, so I think, and it's so funny. You know what's so funny? Everybody else who know me know I'm crazy and I don't have sense. You know, like meaning like humorous, not I don't have sense. But,
yes.
You know, I choose the times to go into my lunacy. But but the people that don't know me, they always see me so emotional, or like I'm always like pouring my emotional guts out in a role on the screen. But it's so funny to me, because it's just like, if they really knew me, it's like, girl,
you funny. But that's what I want to ask you, because this is the thing that I find fascinating, because when I was thinking about this interview, I was like, because you're so funny, you light up a room, you bring so much joy in that sense. But then we look at your resume, like your work that you've put out there, like we look at Pariah, right? So I want to ask you, the first thing I want to ask you about Pariah, and, you know, playing Laura, the best friend of Adepero Adoye, right? Who she's on Falcon and Winter Soldier right now. And this is directed by Dee Reeves. I mean, come on. I mean,
amazing.
So what, I want to go step by step with what you've done, because of the fact that people who know you know that you're funny, and then yet you get all these serious roles. So talk to me about Pariah and what that experience was like for you.
Pariah was my first feature film experience, my first short film experience, really, with Dee. And it was amazing. It was I learned so much that I needed to learn as like an actor coming out of school. I was like probably maybe 25 when I did Pariah.
Oh, you telling your age? Okay. Oh, snap.
Well, not really. I
mean, you got this when you start lying. My mother's always like, girl, you got to start lying about your age. But you know,
well, I done said it, but I just came out of school. You know, I trained and everything, and there was a lot of things about film, a lot of things about even getting into equity, getting into the unions I didn't know about. It was just a huge blessing and a learning experience. I'm so blessed to have worked with Dee and worked with Adepero and worked in a way that it feels like every time I've worked with people that are very collaborative and they incorporate their writing talents with what you're doing in the moment, or however that comes about with you doing character development with their script, what they wrote, it comes together in such a beautiful way. I'm just so blessed. It's real crazy how the universe works to do like these 360 moments. Because I told you this. I was in high school looking at eyes. Like being addicted to eyes. Like, wow, look at these characters on HBO, blah, 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 blah. And studying, you know, acting in the performing arts high school. Then in undergrad, I'm up here looking at The Wire. Okay. And then having the Deuce role where I've worked with David Simon and them, and then Tom Fontana right now. I'm just so blessed. But Pariah was amazing. I love the character Laura, and it was so interesting because I think Pariah taught me, because when I got the notice for the short, I had came from a equity audition. I wasn't equity yet, so it was one of those cattle calls. Woke up 5 a.m. to sign a paper at 7 a.m. or whatever they, and so you're there all that time if you're not equity, and you see the equity people come in, they're, well rested.
They just get to come in and fine, yes.
They've gone to work out and warmed up and had breakfast. And your desperation is present. Wanting to get seen. And so I got seen. And by the time I got seen, I knew the monologue, but it was just my energy and everything. I was just out of it, in my spirit, in my emotions. And I just felt like there has to be a better way. Mm-hmm. And then I shifted something in myself and I said, you know what? I'm not going out for stuff anymore. I'm going to see what is right for me that comes, that is going to be open to me. Mm-hmm. That's going to, it's something's going to attract me to it. Something's going to come. Now, back then I wasn't practicing so much law of attraction as I am now with meditating and affirmations, really aligning your vibration, which is important. So I guess out of me growing out of painful situations or whatever, I knew I wanted to feel good, and laughter was one of those things too. And that's just a part of my being.
I love it because you're bringing that laughter to me, to so many people in the community, to Bjorn, my producer. You bring so much of that joy. Let's go to When They See Us. Now, When They See Us, directed by the Ava DuVernay. Okay, and then there's Anjanou Ellis. And When They See Us is based on what we call now the Exonerated Five.
Yes.
And I mean, Dee Breeze, we go from Dee Breeze, who, for those of you guys who may not know, check out Mudbound. Mary J. Blige, is in that. But Dee Breeze is who directed Pernell and Pariah. And now we're going to Ava DuVernay with Central Park 5, what we call now the Exonerated Five. Talk to me about that experience. Like, just everybody and their mama wants to work with Ava DuVernay. So here you are working with her. Talk to me about that.
Oh my God, she was so sweet and down to earth. Like, I'm so blessed to be working with. Like, Dee was a sweet person, very hands off, trusted the actors, amazing director, and Ava is so amazing. Also, she also cares for like the actors' emotional well-being while she's working, and really being there for them. And oh my God, did you know?
What?
I didn't know this. Why is it like a secret?
I'm leaning in. You got me leaning in, so what?
Like, she went to see, she saw Seed.
Shut up.
I didn't know.
Wait, how did that come about? I want to know about it.
I think it was before or when I Will Follow had come out or something. And somehow she contacted me. Either she contacted me on Facebook, something.
Oh, wow.
I think because Pariah came out.
I want Ava to contact me on Facebook. Ava, if you watch this later, you can contact me on Facebook.
Like, we had an exchange.
Yeah.
And she was saying how she loved my work.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank you. And at the time, I was familiar with her work and, I Will Follow and everything like that. And she was like, yeah, I know your work. I went to see Seed. I was like, so like,
wow, you never know.
It's worth it to do theater because you never know who's sitting in the audience while you're revealing your spirit and your work and everything. And I was just so floored. And, she said she was been a fan of my work for some time. And I mean, she was just so great and so welcoming. And it was just dope, So I hope to work with her one more.
You gonna work with her? She one more again. She gonna call you. I gotta go to the next question. But girl, I know that I want to stick on that story, but I have to go to the next question. But I'm like, that is amazing. That Ava DuVernay is like, girl, I saw Seed. I want you to come do this project. Oh my God, this is amazing. Okay, so I want to go to my next question about the next increment of this question.
Okay.
The Thighs, Ruby, the Deuce, okay, where you work with that fine-ass method man who I think I just want him to grab me in his arms. But talk to me about Ruby, because she's one of my favorite characters that you've done so far. And the reason why she's one of my favorite characters is because I love the confidence that you brought to her, and the way you just owned your body, and you owned this, I want to say stage, but it's the set, right?
Yeah.
And just the confidence and the love that you gave to Ruby, and people and fans loved it. You had so many fans, and I'm one of them. But I just you don't get to see women like Ruby on TV every day.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask you about what that experience was like for you.
That was amazing. Once again, I gotta say, when you have good writing, I've been blessed to work with like Dee Rees, Ava, David Simon, George Pelicanos, the Deuce. Like the writing, most of the writing did a lot of my work. And like, because I work from the text first, and then I see what I can, I write down everything. A really great book to use is The Art of Dramatic Writing.
Oh, The Art of Dramatic Writing. Okay, but you're gonna write that down. Put that in the chat. I know. Okay, I love that. The Art of Dramatic Writing. Okay, cool.
Because when I read that book, and I read it while I was training in like for my MFA, I got to get an inside sense of what writers are kind of thinking when they're, sculpting a character or the arc of a play or something like that. So it really helps in that regard. And also, another good book is Stanislavski in Rehearsal.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one. So, the writing was phenomenal, and I immediately, it pulls to me. Like I feel like characters pull to me. I go to the appointment, I go to the audition, but there's something about them that I could bring myself and connect with on like a very specific individual level and make it real. And so I used the old school aunts in my family for her.
Oh, okay, I love that.
One of my aunts, Eartha Lee, she reminded me of her with the spunk and the confidence and full figure too.
Okay, amen.
And that was so ironic because the year before I went on this health kick, and I've do health kicks and stuff like that, and I love walking and eating stuff, but I've really become at peace with my full figure and body more. I just want to be healthy,
Yeah.
And the year before I had lost all this weight, doing like just mostly organic, walking, blah 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 blah. And when I came to this, it was like, well, you have no choice but to really take it and run with it. Thunder thighs. It's right there in the thighs, girl. Oh, no. What my mama gave me was a don't bless me.
Listen, what your mama gave you got you this blessing on the show, okay?
Cornbread. Okay. All that good repast food. Leave me alone.
Woo. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to ask you this. Method Man. Just give me one thing about him when you were.
He was a sweetheart, and I'm so happy to see him working all over. I mean, he has such a open personality to learning and getting better at his craft. And I mean, I don't know if people know, like Method Man works. He works hard. Like that scene when he had it with Maggie, on there, with they was going back and forth. He shading her. I'm like, he was going in. I mean, he is very professional and just a really sweetheart. Always tries to help, and he just really loves. He has a passion for it. So I'm excited to see where he goes with it.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see it too.
But also, he's been acting for quite a while too. So
and this is so interesting because usually sometimes when people cross over from the rap world, the hip hop world to acting, they not so good at it. But I was like, Method Man got some talent. I see some talent up in there. Okay.
Yeah, it takes time and it's a process. Cause child, I mean, even in my first like feature of Pariah, it took adjustment to know that you ain't have to talk so loud on the mic because you already.
D's like, Pernell, girl, you can bring that down, right? You can bring that down.
A sound department, like they have the microphone. I'm like, you don't have to talk. It's right there.
You're like, okay. So let's segue into into Grace Campbell right now, City on a Hill.
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's segue into that with with that damn fine Aldous Hodge. I mean, tell me, I know how many women text you and was like, Pernell, like when we gonna get the hookup? When we gonna get the hookup? Right?
Well, including you. It's been a few.
See, wait a minute. You cannot put me on blast like that. Everybody, let's watch this damn trailer. Putting me on blast. Listen. So, you mentioned Tom Fontana earlier, who worked on Oz with our beloved Moms who played the poet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your journey as Grace. And for those of people who are watching or who will watch this later, tell us who Grace is and your journey on playing Grace.
Grace Campbell is a coalition leader within the community of Roxbury in Boston. And she strives to make her community better. She's an older Black woman who is a mother. She is also a mentor to the community. She is a protector. She loves her community and her people. And so she tries to look out for them in any way she can. So during the course of this show, we're today on episode 5. I don't want to be a spoiler. I don't know how many people have seen it and hasn't seen it, but her
well, I haven't seen it yet. I'm up to episode 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, episode 5. I can't remember the last episode that was aired. I watched it, so I'm up to date.
Okay. Yeah. Her community work gets overshadowed and undermined by the drug activity that is very close to her, and that's all I'll say, because there's some people that still want to kind of binge it, so I'll leave it like that. And it just, the ride of Grace Campbell, honey.
Yes.
I mean, the last episode, it's like going like this. You get the introduction, it's going like a roller coaster, and it's almost going there. So it's gonna get crazy. That's all I can say. But the writing was phenomenal, the directing was phenomenal. Tom Fontana is such a sweetheart and just so grounded, and just he wants everybody to shine and to be real. And for me, the writing made it a lot easier. I identified who this woman was, because I grew up in the South Bronx. My mom is that woman on the PTA, cooking dinner for other people, making sure everybody's good in the community. If somebody lost a son or something, pitching in, wanting to help, wanting to be an active voice, to make the circumstance better in any way. Because you have to live. I mean, South Bronx was not easy, not to be in like poverty porn, but it wasn't easy. It's not, especially in the 80s and the Reagan era. You had crack, AIDS, everything being ravished in that. Yeah. And so for me, the early deaths, it's so weird how it works, but it's, even when I see it with the early, like the young rappers dying in 20, I mean, the world got to see Tupac and Biggie lose their lives in their 20s. And the crazy and sad thing was, that wasn't the first time for me to see something like that. Yeah. Growing up and seeing how fast murals changed, because people were shot or people were fighting over drug turf or just kind of everything. It just destroyed a lot of things. So, so I identified with Grace in that, and wanting to do better for the community. And wanted to aspire for more, and especially for her kids, because they lived in there. They lived there, Yeah. So, you're gonna see Grace go through it, huh?
I can't wait, because this last episode, I don't want to give it away, because I know people are still gonna catch up and binge watch. But the moment you have with that fine Leon,
Wait, shout out to Leon.
Okay, with his fine self, I was like, you better take that collar off, okay?
Listen, he's from Yonkers. He's from Yonkers, so he talks trash like I talk trash.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Take that collar off. Take that collar off.
We was cutting up. I love working with Leon.
Well, the last scene, I don't want to give it away. That moment you have and you walk away, I was like, I cannot wait. But listen, knowing you, and just knowing you for so long, and just knowing you for all this time over the years, and seeing you play this part, and you have 2 grown-ass sons on the show. I'm like, Pernell, you ain't got 2 grown-ass sons. So tell me about this journey of getting cast playing somebody much older than you?
Well, it's so wild, because literally I'm probably like 5 years older than the actor who played my oldest son.
Wow, it's
Fun
amazing.
tidbit you didn't know. But
That's amazing.
yeah, so I saw I got the notice through, the agent and manager, and they wanted to see me for it. And they were like, well, I don't know, she's a little young for it, but we'll see. We'll bring her in and see what happens. And around that time, I was heavy into doing my law of attraction work, working on my vibration
Hmm.
to attract what I want, listening to my affirmations, getting my vibration. That's just happy place, being happy before the things come, so you are
Hmm.
happy and you're not like expecting the things to give you happiness.
Okay, amen. That's real. That's real.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
so, you say, oh, I'd be so happy when I get my series regular. Oh, I'd be so happy and then okay, you
Mm.
get it, and
You're not happy.
is you happy?
Amen. That's real.
Is you
That's so
happy, girl?
real. Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
had to work on that, and it's so amazing how even in 2020, the year of being in plain sight, kind of like
Hmm.
just 2020 vision,
Hmm.
so many things cleared there.
2020, 2020 vision. Sorry, I just had to do that because that's how it popped in my head.
What is this first lady link?
Mm.
What is that? But a lot of things cleared themselves out that wasn't meant to be there.
Yeah.
And that's what I've seen. And I just been more on my self-care, making myself a priority in the midst of whatever's going on. And I love to walk long distances. I
Hmm.
love to meditate. I love to listen to my affirmations and other things. So going in for that role, I literally was excited to just go and get seen and be working. Like, oh, I'm going to work on this. And it was a totally different shift from,
Hmm.
oh, I got an audition. Now I was just like, it's gonna be good. I'm going. So I went in. I literally threw it on the wall. I said, okay, cool. Whatever happens, happens. And then I got a call back.
Mm. Yeah.
I
Wow.
said, what? Okay. And so they wanted to see me for the producer session. And I remember going in there. I was so grateful. I was just so happy to be there. One. And two, I was like, well, whatever happens, I did good because I got a call back. And then I'm signing my name and I see the list of like spectacular older actresses that came in for this role. And I was just like,
Wow.
it blew my mind. I was like, I got happy. I wasn't even happy. I was I was happy seeing the names. I said, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, ooh, ooh.
You're like, okay, okay, okay. Now, were you like, oh my gosh, one of them we're gonna get it because they're the right age for the part, or did any of that cross your
I
mind?
I was just happy my name was going on the same paper.
Amen. That's real. Okay,
I was
amen.
like, ooh, ooh, I know they work. Ooh, I mean, you talk about prep before, like being
Yeah.
so child, my mind was going. I was like, ooh, 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 look at. So when I went in, I was prepared and everything, and I went in. They gave me adjustments and stuff, and then I was pinned for a minute, you
Mm.
know,
Hmm.
and so eventually I got it. But
Wow.
I was so blessed. I mean, even people in the makeup hair trailer was looking at me like, "That's Grace." I was like, "Yeah, I think I
Because
am."
they're looking at you like, aren't you Grace's daughter?
Yeah, right, right.
Do you know what I mean?
Because I give off, I guess, a very young energy, like bright and everything, and I felt like, well, I got the part.
Hmm.
Let's start there. Whatever they saw in the audition, I got the part.
Hmm.
And once they did the hair, and I did my character work before that because it was like the words give you a lot to work with on who this woman is. They was calling her Nana. They was doing a lot of things, and to carry the weight of Grace Campbell because she has a lot of gravity to her. So they do the hair, they figure out the hair, then they figure out the makeup, and then the costuming. Like everything was like another layer, and then Grace started to like come.
Mm-hmm.
It was so crazy because when I looked in the mirror, like when I looked, you know, when you have to get dressed in your trailer,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you have your hair done and you have makeup, it was like, this is somebody else.
mm.
You know, the clothes. I was truly living my assistant principal from the 90s life.
Wow, amen.
With Grace Campbell. I mean, it was just, those are the women I saw that taught in the public schools, or were the leaders that presented themselves in a certain kind of Claire Huxtable, grown woman, Family Matters way,
Mm-hmm.
where you would rarely see them in sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw them in sneakers, then they were around the house, or I don't know, but
Yeah.
you know.
Wow, that is a story. I love that. I just kudos to
And
you
that,
for. Go ahead. What?
oh, y'all,
What?
do your
What, y'all?
vibrational work. Because let me tell you, don't you know, girl, that audition that I booked at the top of the year, because that audition was in January. That was my first audition.
Wow.
As we lean back together. With that. I'm gonna leave you with that.
Okay. Listen, before you go, before you go, we gotta get to our cherry pick. So let's segue into the cherry pick before you go. We're gonna segue into our cherry pick. Okay. So before you go, like we were saying, what's your cherry pick for today?
My cherry pick is the Pop Culture Collective. Pop Culture Collaborative.
Okay, yes.
I'm gonna read off on here because
okay. Listen. I get to rest because I get to sit back on this one. Okay.
I'll read.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead, girl. Let me do it. Do it, girl. I can take a break.
And also another brilliant actress who is a part of this and shaping this is Bridget Antoinette Evans, who played the social worker in Seed.
Yes. There she is. Look at you guys.
Yes. Oh, look at that. Okay. So the Pop Culture Collaborative is a philanthropic resource and funder learning community. We need the funds to get this work done that needs to be done. Funder learning community working to transform the narrative landscape in America around the people of color, immigrants, refugees, Muslims, and indigenous people, especially those who are women, queer, transgender, and or disabled. I love it. The collaborative supports the growth of the pop culture for social change field through 4 interconnected program areas: grant making, convening and networking, narrative design, and philanthropic learning. So that is
this is a good cherry pick. That's amazing. And the reason why I think it's a good cherry pick is I think it's such a great idea to use pop culture as a way to achieve social change, because pop culture is in so many people's everyday household, the phones, like just the e-entertainment shows, the human life. There's so many of us on this planet that are into pop culture, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I love the fact that she is using pop culture as a way to dismantle the dominant narrative. I think it's amazing. So, and I'm glad that you picked this cherry pick, and it's so great to see Bridget Antoinette Evans doing her thing.
She's amazing.
That's amazing. And how full circle is this interview? Like, we went from Rada all the way, and then we ended up with Bridget, who works with Rada and you. And I love that.
And it has hip hop all the way through there.
Okay.
Hip Hop Theater Festival. Shout out to them.
Oh, Camila Forbes, back in the day, that was her joint. Now who's now at Apollo, who was a guest of mine as well. Listen, 6 Degrees of Separation. Kevin Bacon on City on a Hill, like it's all the 6 degrees, But listen, I just want to say thank you so much for coming. These interviews, like I said, are in and out. Before we go, before we say goodbye to Pernell, let people know what you're doing. Aren't you doing some live tweeting?
Yes, I'm gonna be live tweeting on the Twitters and the tweeting and the twatting and the tweeting and twatting and the twat. I'm be twitting and twatting up in there. Not tweeting, but the tweeting twatting.
So Pernell's gonna be after the Oscars, right? 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh wait, it's 9 o'clock. It's
9 o'clock
time for.
Oh, okay, so there you go.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. So I know people are gonna be like either DVR in City on the Hill, or they're going to click to something else during that time. Hopefully it will be City on the Hill, because I know it was Oscars. But let me tell you, y'all will not be disappointed. This season of City on the Hill is intense.
It's really good.
It's so much on the line for everybody. I mean, I loved working with everybody. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I'm so grateful to the executive producers. I mean, amazing. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Aldous Hodge.
And I'm mad at you for calling me out, because you know I was not one of the people. I am so mad at you.
Sorry, but
you called me out on Facebook too, and I was like, "How did I get involved in this? How did I?"
Because you was up there fighting with somebody else over Marion Eldest. I didn't think about y'all. No, but you Facebook fight with somebody. No,
I was like, she gonna call me out,
girl.
I was like, y'all know we dating, right? Yeah. Okay.
And so it was like in my inbox, people texting me. So you were probably like the sixth.
You still calling me out? You know I didn't do this.
I'm sorry. Dang. Get off the witness stand, please. Defense, damn it.
Anyway, guys, say goodbye to Pernell. I can't stand her. But anyway, I love you guys. See you guys next week. Let me give you my next up. My next guest next week is going to be Michael McElroy. He is a Tony nominee, Broadway veteran, musical director. He just so many things going on with him. He's amazing. He's one of the founders of Black Theater United, and he's the founder of Broadway Inspirational Voices. We're gonna have a good time and chop it up. But that's it. So I see you guys later, and same time Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. Okay, guys, see you later. Bye.